The art director's debrief. Wuthering Heights deconstructed. Heathcliff's game of pawns. An inherited tragedy.
Hello, and welcome back to the Emotive Archive. The storm of the first generation has passed, leaving death, ruin, and haunting memories in its wake. Years have elapsed in a fragile, somber peace. A new generation has been raised, the children of the storm, largely ignorant of the savage passions that shaped their very existence. In the chapter we will deconstruct today, chapter 21, that peace is about to be shattered. This is the moment the master of Wuthering Heights, Heathcliff, finally sets his long-gestating, multi-generational revenge plot into its final, cruel motion. Today we will anatomize his masterful manipulation of the young Catherine Linton and witness the fateful, tragic reunion of the three cousins. This is the first move in a chess game where the pawns are human souls. The chapter opens by re-establishing the world of our new heroine, the young Catherine, or Cathy. She is now 16, a creature of light, beauty, and spirited intelligence. Brontë paints her as a perfect, almost ethereal hybrid of her parents. She has the passionate, dark eyes of the Earnshaws, but the fair skin and refined manners of the Lintons. She has been raised in the ultimate gilded cage, the civilized paradise of Thrushcross Grange, carefully shielded by her loving father, Edgar, from any knowledge of the dark, savage world of Wuthering Heights. Her world is small, safe, and beautiful. But it is this very sheltered innocence that makes her vulnerable. Her desire to explore the moors, the wild landscape that was her mother's true home, is an unconscious yearning for a part of her own identity that has been repressed. This yearning provides Heathcliff with his opening. The chance encounter on the moors is, of course, no chance at all. It is a calculated ambush, the first move by a master manipulator. Heathcliff's performance is flawless. He does not appear as the brutal landlord Lockwood met. He presents himself as a concerned, almost paternal figure, chiding Cathy for riding so far alone and using her love for his son, Linton, as bait. His invitation to Wuthering Heights is not a request. It is a summons, a trap disguised as a kindness. Cathy, naive and headstrong, falls for it completely. Her decision to go to the Heights against Nellie's warnings is her first act of rebellion, a tragic echo of her own mother's willful nature. She's being drawn by a force she does not understand towards her own tragic destiny. The scene at Wuthering Heights is a masterclass in psychological tension and social commentary. It is the first time the three cousins, the human ingredients of Heathcliff's revenge, are brought together in the same room. Cathy, the refined lady of the Grange, is immediately confronted with the two vastly different products of Heathcliff's education. First, there is Hareton Earnshaw. He is the rightful heir of the Heights, but Heathcliff has systematically degraded him into a rough, sullen, and illiterate farmhand. Cathy's reaction to him is one of pure, unthinking class prejudice. She scorns his rough manners and is openly contemptuous of his inability to read. In this moment, she is a perfect Linton, her civilized arrogance blinding her to the hidden nobility and profound humiliation of the young man before her. Then there is Linton Heathcliff, the centerpiece of Heathcliff's plan. He is frail, pale, and peevish, a pathetic creature who is the physical embodiment of a weakened lineage. Cathy's reaction to him is one of pity and a kind of maternal tenderness. But Heathcliff's behavior towards his own son is chilling. He openly despises him, referring to him as a pulley, pining thing. Yet he forces a twisted public display of affection between the cousins, encouraging Cathy to be kind to the poor boy. He is not fostering a romance. He is engineering a merger. His entire plan is laid bare for Nellie to see. He intends to unite the fortunes of the Lintons and the Earnshaws by forcing a marriage between the vibrant, healthy Cathy and his own weak, dying son. If Linton marries Cathy and then dies, Heathcliff, as Linton's heir, will inherit everything. It is a plan of staggering, cold-blooded cruelty, a revenge that seeks not just to destroy his enemies, but to consume their very legacy. The chapter concludes with Cathy's return to the Grange and the beginning of her own deception. Her father, Edgar, forbids her from ever returning to the Heights. But the seeds of a tragic connection have been sown. Cathy, driven by a mixture of pity for Linton and a rebellious curiosity, begins a secret correspondence with her cousin. This is the first step in her own downfall. She believes she is engaging in a secret, innocent romance. She does not see that she is not a lover, but a pawn, and that her letters are not love notes, but moves on a chessboard, and that the game she has just entered is one she is destined to lose. Heathcliff, the patient, calculating master of the game, has made his opening move, and the trap is beginning to close. Now that we have anatomized the events of this fateful reunion, let us elevate our analysis and view this chapter through a more profound, almost alchemical lens. A traditional reading sees this as the beginning of a new romantic plot. But what if we view it as a dark, perverse act of artistic creation? I will now argue that Heathcliff, in this second half of the novel, is no longer just a man seeking revenge. He has become a demonic artist, a psychological alchemist, and the three cousins are his raw human materials. His goal is not just to destroy his enemies, it is to deconstruct, recombine, and ultimately recreate the past, forging a new reality where he is the undisputed God. Let us deconstruct the genetic material he is working with. The three cousins are not just new characters, they are living, breathing embodiments of the three great families and forces of the novel. Catherine Linton, or Cathy, is the perfect volatile hybrid. She is a fusion of the Earnshaw's savage spirit, her passion, her dark eyes, her defiance, and the Linton's civilized refinement, her fair skin, her education, her sense of propriety. She is a walking paradox, a creature of both the storm and the drawing room. This makes her the ultimate prize in Heathcliff's game. To control her is to control the legacy of both his great love, Catherine, and his great enemy, Edgar. She is the philosopher's stone of his experiment. Linton Heathcliff, in contrast, is a failed creation, a tragic degradation of both lineages. He inherits the physical weakness and peevishness of the Lintons, but he also possesses the selfish, cruel nature of Heathcliff, without any of his father's demonic strength or willpower. He is a pathetic, whining creature, a pale echo of both his parents. Heathcliff looks upon his own son with the creator's disgust, a chilling repetition of how Victor Frankenstein viewed his own creation. Linton is a living testament to the idea that combining two powerful forces does not always result in strength, but can result in a weak and unstable compound. He is a tool of revenge, but a flawed, brittle one. Hareton Earnshaw is perhaps Heathcliff's most monstrous and most tragic creation. He is pure, unadulterated Earnshaw stock, the rightful heir of Wuthering Heights. He possesses the physical strength and the latent nobility of his ancestors. But Heathcliff, in a brilliant and diabolical act of social engineering, has systematically stripped him of his inheritance. He has raised him not as a gentleman, but as an illiterate farmhand. He has deliberately stunted his intellectual and social growth, turning him into a rough, brutish reflection of Heathcliff's own youthful degradation. This is the heart of his revenge on Hindley. He has not killed his enemy's son. He has done something far crueler. He has stolen his soul, his very identity. Hareton becomes a living ghost, a gentleman trapped in the body of a peasant, a walking symbol of a stolen legacy. Heathcliff's grand, overarching project, his great work, is to take these three human elements and force them into a new, terrible configuration that will finally give him the victory he was denied in the first generation. His plan is to force a marriage between his own weak, dying son, Linton, and the vibrant, healthy Cathy. From a legal and economic standpoint, this is a masterstroke. Such a marriage would unite the properties of Wuthering Heights and Thrushcross Grange, making him the undisputed master of the entire world he has ever known. It is the final act of his class warfare, the ultimate triumph of the gypsy outcast over the landed gentry. But from a psychological and artistic perspective, it is something far twisted. He is attempting to create a perverse parody of the marriage he was denied. He is trying to force a union between a Heathcliff, his son who carries his name and his cruelty, and a Catherine, the daughter who carries her mother's spirit. But it is a degraded, pathetic version. He is trying to stage a puppet show of the past with himself as the director, finally in control of the outcome. He is not just seeking revenge on Edgar and Hindley, he is seeking revenge on fate itself. He is trying to rewrite the past by manipulating the future. This is the true nature of his monstrosity in the second half of the novel. He has moved beyond simple human hatred and has become a cold, calculating, almost scientific artist of suffering, using the lives of these innocent children as his clay. The tragedy that unfolds is not just the story of a bad man hurting good people. It is the story of a great, tormented soul trying to cure his own unbearable pain by recreating it and inflicting it on others. A desperate, demonic, and ultimately futile attempt to master the ghosts that will, in the end, consume him. Thank you for joining me in the Emotive Archive.